Welcome back to the Toal Tribe channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Laurient, and this is mine and my husband Mike's channel, where we share all about our journey to grow our family through domestic infant adoption, as well as family vlogs and lifestyle videos. If any of that sounds interesting to you, we would love it if you would consider subscribing, clicking the notification bell, joining the tribe, joining the journey, because things are getting exciting around here, and I really don't think you're gonna wanna miss what's up ahead for us. So for today's video, I had something entirely different planned, but I needed Mike for the video, and he is working late, unfortunately. He's putting in that OT, so he's not here to film with. So I just had to rearrange our schedule and pull up a video that I was gonna be posting later on in the month of September. So we're just gonna be sharing it early, and that's 10 baby boy names we love but won't be using this time around. I've watched quite a few of these videos, and I have to say I find them very fun and entertaining. I think it's really interesting to see the kinds of names that different people gravitate towards. Some are very unique, some are more traditional, some are very old-fashioned, and people tend to like kind of pick a trend or an aesthetic when naming their children and kind of like sticking to that, and I love it. I think it's really, really cool. A lot of couples have issues agreeing on names. Mike and I are literally no different. Growing up with a unique name like Laurient, I hated it for the beginning half of my life, and I grew to really love having a unique name and being like the only Laurient amongst my friends group and the kids in school, and people remember my name in business, I feel like, as well, now that I'm like a professional, because it's not a name that they've heard of before. And Michael is a very traditional, very common and popular name used amongst boys, and so he was undoubtedly probably one of 4 Mikes in every classroom that he was in growing up. Chances are he had other friends named Mike, and so for him, he tends to gravitate towards more traditional names, whereas I'm super kind of unique and kind of out there. And Mike has gotten a little bit better, like he's opened his mind to more unique names, and he wants his child to have a name that's not as common. And so he kind of dips his toes into the lake of uniqueness, but like he doesn't go in past like his toes. Like he's not dipping ankles or knees in the lake of uniqueness. He doesn't walk that far over. So we're working on it, but it's good because we are able to find some common ground. And I will say that picking out boy names was a lot easier for us than girl names. Girl names were super hard. There were very few that we both agreed on, but boy names was a little bit easier for us. I do want to preface this by saying we have picked a boy name that we are so excited about and we love so much, and it has such great meaning to us, which is also really important, but we aren't sharing it yet. We're gonna wait until the baby is placed with us and paperwork is signed, because we just don't want to put the name out there and have people get attached to the names and us get super attached to the name before we physically have a baby to name. So with that being said, let's hop into the list. Now the first name on the list is the name that Mike and I really, really loved. We both agreed on, and it was the name we 100% thought we were going to use up until a few months ago. We changed our mind, and that name is Vaughn. I don't know why, but I love the name Vaughn. Vaughn just sounds kind of elegant and mature to me, and I think that that's something I also look for in baby names, because babies are adorable and all baby names are really, really cute, but babies grow into adults, and sometimes, you know, you might give a baby a name that's super cutesy and fits them as a baby, but then when they're like a grown adult in the workplace, in the world, their name almost sounds childish. And so that's something I'm very cognizant of when I'm picking names. So for me, Vaughn sounds very mature, and I don't know, I just really, really love it. And it was something I pitched to Mike, and he actually was into it from the start. I didn't even have to do any convincing. The next name is Nixon. Now I threw this out there. Mike actually really, really loved it. I liked it. I don't know that I loved it as much as he did, so we kind of really never settled on this as a name, but I do still really like the name Nixon. I think that it's a really cute name, and again, I don't think it's too cutesy. I can see an adult man being Nixon. You can call him Nix or Nick. So it has nickname potential. And I don't know if you've caught on to this, but I kind of have a thing for last names as first names for boys. So Vaughn is like Vince Vaughn, and then Nixon, President Nixon. So you're also gonna see I have a thing for for presidential last names as first names too. But I don't know what it is. I just like last names as first names. I think that they're kind of like strong. They sound strong. Ugh, this next name on the list, I absolutely love. I still love it. And Mike hates it. And I don't know why he hates it because it's so perfect. And that's Bennett. I love the name Bennett. I mean, you can call him Benny when he's little, Ben when he's older. I just think Bennett is a classic name. Tony Bennett, again, last name is a first name. I'm just really into the name, and I pray that Mike changes his mind and at some point in the future this sounds like a great name to him, because I love it and I would love to be able to name a future son Bennett. This next name I loved a while ago. Mike and I were still dating and I was like, if we had a son, I would really love to name him Phoenix. And at the time I didn't know anybody named Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix, the actor, but I really didn't know anybody named Phoenix. But then I knew a few people who were expecting boys, and they were naming him Phoenix. And then I knew some people who were like, oh yeah, my friend is having a baby and naming him Phoenix. And I was like, oh, it's catching popularity. And when a name starts to become really popular, it's kind of a turn off for me. Next name is Kennedy, and again, presidential last name is a first name. I know that Kennedy is used a lot for girls, but to me, I feel like it's pretty unisex. I can totally visualize a boy named Kennedy. You call him Ken, Kenny. I think it's just a kind of a cool name, and again, I don't hear it for boys very often. Now this next name again is a name that I liked a while back. I hadn't really heard it too often, and then it started to gain momentum and become popular, and so I kind of lost interest in it for us personally, but I still think it's a really cool name, and that's Braxton. It would have never worked out anyway because Mike actually didn't really care for the name Braxton, but I still think it's cool. Now this next name Mike really liked, and I liked it but not as much as he did, not enough to use it as a name for a child. But again, I think it's really cool, and I think it would be a great name for other couples. I just don't think it's totally us, and that's Weston. Again, I love this name. Graham. Graham to me is on the same level with Vaughn. It's like a very mature name. I could picture Graham being like a handsome, sophisticated older man, and like, isn't that what all moms hope for their son, that they grow up to be like handsome, worldly, sophisticated young men? Like, oh, Graham is totally that for me, that name, and I love it. And I just like hope we can have all of the kids so that I can use all of the names that I really love. Like if it was up to me, we'd have like a basketball team and I'd get to use all the amazing names that I love. So Sterling is another name that I really like, but I don't think I like enough to use. Like I don't think it's totally fitting for a child of Mike and I. But whenever I hear Sterling as a boy name, I really love it. I'm like, it's so cute, and it's different, but it doesn't feel too different where your child would feel odd or like an outcast. I just think it's a really cool name. And then so the last name on my list is Bronson, and I see Branson quite a bit. I don't see Bronson as much on people's like baby name lists or lists that I see on Pinterest, but I really like Bronson, and I kind of took that from the rapper Action Bronson, and I like it, and I think that it could be a potential name in the running for a future son. It's kind of just this cool nod to like hip hop and hip hop culture, which is totally Mike and I think that it would be a really cool name for us to use in the future. That is it. That is 10 baby boy names that we love but won't be using this time around. Again, if it was up to me, I would have a horde of children and I would get to use all of the names that I absolutely love and adore for boys and girls, but it's probably not going to work out that way. It's probably better that it doesn't work out that way for our own sanity. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it somewhat helpful and entertaining. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps out our channel. And don't forget to leave a comment down below of any baby boy names that you really love. I would love to hear from you guys, and I'm sure any moms and dads out there watching this looking for baby name inspiration would love to see what your name ideas are. And I hope to see you guys in our next video. Bye.